Mientras en Estados Unidos miles salen a las calles a protestar, el autoritarismo ya no es una amenaza, es una realidad. Recortes masivos, censura, ataques a medios de comunicación, a inmigrantes, a jueces, a universidades, y todo bajo el mando de una oligarquía que controla el poder desde el dinero. Y no lo dice cualquiera, lo denuncia el senador Bernie Sanders, uno de los políticos más coherentes de este país. Lo dice con claridad. Estamos en una lucha por la democracia misma. En contraste, aquí, en México, la derecha conservadora acusa de autoritarismo a un gobierno que, irónicamente, ha garantizado elecciones libres, ampliado programas sociales y defendido los derechos del pueblo. ¿Autoritarismo? ¿En serio? Entonces, ¿qué es el autoritarismo en realidad? ¿Y quién lo representa hoy? Vamos a escuchar lo que dice Bernie Sanders y a entender lo que está pasando en Estados Unidos y por qué nosotros no debemos caer de nuevo en la trampa de copiar ese modelo fallido.
Let us be clear. We are living under an oligarchic form of society which has created more income and wealth inequality than at any time in our history. And that oligarchic form of society created a corrupt campaign finance system that allows billionaires to make unlimited amounts of campaign contributions. Trump won the election with $270 million in support from Elon Musk, the wealthiest guy on earth. The result of that enormous campaign contribution was that Musk was given the most important job in government and the opportunity to decimate government agency after government agency. Because of Musk's chainsaw approach, we have seen massive layoffs in the National Institute of Health, the Center for Disease Control, the Department of Education, the Department of Health and Human Services, and many more. Trump and the Republicans are working on a massive budget reconciliation bill, or Trump's big, beautiful bill. Legislation provides a $645 billion tax break to the top 1%, at a time when these guys already own more wealth than the bottom 93% of Americans. This bill would also provide a $420 billion tax break to large corporations that are stashing their profits in offshore tax havens like the Cayman Islands. And by the way, this particular tax break makes it easier for these companies to invest in robots and artificial intelligence, and as a result, throw millions of workers out on the streets. And now, how does Trump and the Republicans pay for these huge tax breaks for the wealthy and large corporations? Well, at a time when over 85 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured, when our current healthcare system is already broken, this bill slashes Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act by more than $1 trillion. In other words, this unspeakable piece of legislation takes from the most vulnerable people in our country, people who are barely hanging on today, and gives it to the very richest people who have never, ever had it so good. And in many ways, this legislation epitomizes exactly what Trumpism is all about. If you are rich and powerful, and you can make large campaign contributions, you are entitled to massive tax breaks that will make you even richer. If you're working class or low income, you are entitled to nothing. Never before in American history has a president acted with such disdain for our Constitution and for the rule of law as Trump is doing right now. He has usurped the power of Congress by putting a hold on appropriations that Congress has authorized, firing thousands of employees and abolishing agencies that Congress established. All that is illegal. He and his supporters have usurped the power of the judiciary by threatening to impeach judges who rule against Trump's policies. He has extorted money from law firms who represented clients he didn't like. And he's going after universities whose courses he disagrees with. What he is saying, rather bluntly, if you stand up to Donald Trump, he will punish you. And now we have the situation unfolding in Los Angeles. So let me be clear. Trump's deployment of the National Guard and Marines in California is not about the protests. It is not about ICE, and it's really not about immigration. It's just another example of Trump using extremely dubious legal authority to expand his never-ending quest for more power in his effort to move this country toward authoritarianism. Trump's argument for his deployment of the troops is nothing less than absurd and laughable. Does anybody really believe that we are in the midst of a foreign invasion or a rebellion against the United States? Those are the legal arguments that Trump has used to nationalize the National Guard in California. Defeating Trumpism and the oligarchs who support him will not be easy. That's clear. These guys have enormous amounts of wealth and enormous amounts of power. But if there is anything that we learn from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s successful effort to combat racist officials and segregation, it is that disciplined resistance is the best way forward. If we are successful, that will go a long way to putting the brakes on Trump's reactionary agenda. We are fighting, to quote President Abraham Lincoln in 1863, for, quote, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. If there was ever a time in American history when we need to come together, now is that time. If we continue to fight for the basic principles of economic, social, racial, and environmental justice, I am confident that we will not only get through this unprecedented crisis in modern history, but that we will lay the foundation for a better and more just America in the future.
Cuando la derecha mexicana grita dictadura, tal vez deberíamos voltear a ver lo que está pasando en Estados Unidos. Porque lo que realmente les molesta no es el autoritarismo. Lo que les molesta es que el poder ya no esté en sus manos. Mientras Sanders lucha por salvar lo poco que queda de democracia en Estados Unidos, en México, algunos prefieren repetir discursos importados para sembrar miedo. Pero la verdadera amenaza es olvidar quién tiene el poder realmente. No los multimillonarios, no los medios de siempre, sino nosotros. Como Bernie, sigamos construyendo desde abajo, porque la democracia no se defiende desde los noticieros, se defiende desde el pueblo. ¿Tú qué opinas? ¿Vivimos en un autoritarismo o una democracia? Suscríbete, comparte y comenta en cada cabeza de su mundo, donde damos un toque reflexivo y analítico de lo que vivimos día con día en nuestro entorno.